What's up, Central Kentucky? Hey, it's James Dean coming to you live from my quarantine headquarters here in Georgetown, Kentucky. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday night. We've been doing this every Wednesday night and having different artists on, so I'm thankful that you guys have joined us to watch. I'm really excited about tonight. Actually, I've been excited about all the artists, but tonight is even more special because it's such a cool cat that I'll introduce here in a moment. Just a reminder before we get started, the reason I do this, I have a music school here in Georgetown. I've been pretty much shut down, so I was like, bored, let's share the gift of music. It's what I do, it's who I am, and that's why we're doing this, and it came out of a necessity. So if you enjoy this, I want you to do me a favor right now. Go onto your Facebook, if you're watching from Facebook or even YouTube, and you share. Now, just don't hit the share button. Go in there and comment, hey, guys, you got to check out this cool cat, Grayson Jenkins, or, hey, you got to check out this cool cat with the cool hair, James Dean, and share it so that the more you share, the more that you can help grow this. And I'll be honest, I'm having fun. This is so fun. Just a reminder, a few house cleaning things. If you haven't done it already, and if you would go out and like James Dean Rocks Music School on Facebook, I would love for you to do that. It'd be great. The more you can support local, I am local here in Georgetown, Kentucky. Also, I do have a YouTube page. Go out there. It's also real simple to find it, James Dean Rocks Music School. And we are broadcasting right now on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. It's crazy, I know. But we'd love for you to do that, and it would just help support my endeavors as I continue to educate young people and adults alike on music. And this is another way to do it because I get to share some of my favorite artists that are out there. So if you're watching right now, please comment and say hello. Tell me where you're watching from, whether it be Georgetown, Kentucky, or maybe you're in Honolulu, Hawaii. I'd love to be there right now. How cool would that be? This stupid Kentucky weather is so bipolar. But we're excited. I'm not going to talk much more. I know you guys have got on here to hear the real talent, not this hack right here. But this next young man, I met him 3 or 4 years ago at Country Boy Brewing, and I listened to him and was just totally, completely enthralled and captivated. He had this ability to share stories through music that just kept your attention. His personality was infectious, and so was his smile, man. He would just light up a room, and you can't help but to gravitate to him. Move forward, I followed up and kept up with him through time, and just a few weeks ago, we did Aid the Industry, and he was there, and he remembered me. I'm like, oh. Hey, so I wanted to bring him on because I think as much as he has gifted me the last few years and his talent, I know he will gift you just as much and bless you. So without much ado, I'm going to bring on my good friend, Grayson Jenkins. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? There's that smile for you with the nice little trash stash.
There you go, the trash stash. There you go. Your hair's not as wavy as the last time I seen you.
Yeah, for sure.
It was like,
I appreciate the kind words, man.
Hey, they're all true, man. Hey, let's look at this. Betsy Harris says hi from Chicago.
What's up, Betsy? Chicago, that's crazy, man.
I know. I'm going to kill this banner real quick so people can see your wonderful name. You also got Jeff Burnett here from Georgetown saying hi. We got Ashley.
What's up? How y'all doing?
We got Ashley watching.
This is wild.
She's watching with Brogan. Look at that. She's got a handsome guy in her picture.
Nice.
I know. I think that's me.
Y'all keep It's the PG broadcast.
We got to keep it PG. You're right. So, man, I'm excited. So what have you been doing during this quarantine stuff?
Man, I've been trying to keep things simple. I think the first couple of weeks were pretty overwhelming for everybody, and just tried to settle in a routine. I've been writing a lot. Thankfully, my livelihood as a musician was kind of pulled with live shows being gone, but I picked up a part-time job working for my computer back in February and was able to hold on to that through this. So having that little bit of just a little bit of extra income is super helpful. And other than that, though, I've been just trying to take care of my family and keep up with friends and not worry about too much in the future. Just take every day as it comes.
Absolutely. You're not happening to be working for the unemployment office, are you?
No.
Oh, man, I
No.
thought I had the hookup. Dang it. I can't get through every time I call.
No.
That's a whole different story. So
I've heard that.
It's terrible, but it's all good. I've been blessed, and I'll just keep trucking along. So, Grayson, I started this to be able to share some cool stories about, I know that in my life, I just didn't pick up a guitar and bam, it was there. No, nor did I start singing and all that kind of stuff. It just happened. So for any of the listeners out there, you're never too late in life to pick up a guitar. It's never too late to sing. It's never too late to your dream. How old were you when you picked up a guitar, and what was that moment that it kind of clicked and you're like, I want to do this?
The moment it clicked, sorry, you cut out. The moment it clicked and I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, be able to play guitar. Not necessarily, we'll talk a little bit later about some other future things that when you decided to go full time.
Yeah, I was always obsessed with music. I don't come from a musical household at all, and I'm confident in saying that because I don't think anybody in my family would really defend themselves on that or think otherwise. But I did have an uncle by marriage that lived in Nashville with my aunt, and he played guitar, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever because I'd always been obsessed with music. I would watch music videos all day long on Saturdays. So eventually my mother bought me like a $9 guitar starter pack when I was 14, and it was a chord book and a gig bag and a guitar and like some earthwood or is it earthwood strings or something?
Yep, that's it.
But my uncle came in for Thanksgiving and taught me. My birthday's in November. Got the guitar then. He taught me G, C, and D, and I probably played for about 6 months or a year then, and learned a couple songs, and then I put it down for most of high school. But that was really the first time I'd been interested in playing, and it wasn't until college, again, that I really got back into it, and that's the point that I kind of ran with it from there. But first interest was at about 14.
I was going to say, and when you said you picked up guitar when you were 14, I was going to say, was that 2 years ago? Because you don't look that old.
I was 14 years old, but I'm 29 now, man. And thankfully still get carded at some places. I'll take that any day of the week. I can't grow a beard for anything. So
this is the thickest. Like, I've never had a beard like this, and if you do this, it gets worse.
Man,
but this took me 40 years to do this.
Unless you can't even tell I have a mustache. So.
Well, let's look up. We had you had another comment pop up. Amy Harden Justice says, Cincinnati in the house.
Nice, Cincy. With all the good chili.
That's not chili.
Oh man, I love some Skyline chili.
That's not chili.
Dixie chili is where it's at.
If it ain't got noodles and beans, it's not chili.
I don't do the noodles, man. I'm with you on the beans though, but I don't do the noodles.
Well, Grayson, let's go ahead and get. Tell us about the first song you'd like to do for us tonight.
I'll play you Cowboy Dream. This is a song that I've played a lot over the last year or so. I wrote it, started writing it on a cross-country road trip. I drove from Lexington through, visited friends across the country, and ended up in Los Angeles visiting a friend. And wrote several songs on that trip. But this one in particular, I was driving through Wyoming at sunset, and admittedly, I write a lot of notes in my phone or take a lot of voice memos while I'm driving, which is probably not the safest thing to do. But most people listen to music when they're driving, and that's when I choose to listen to music and end up writing a lot of songs that way. Something about being on the road that just feels natural to listen to music and sing songs. So it came about this way, and I was just thinking about all the cowboys that had ridden across that same terrain, not in a car going 75 miles an hour, but on a horse, and just how different life was, but similar. So I was relating their life to the musician life.
All right, brother. I'm gonna let you rock it out.
Cowboy Dream.
I'm gonna jump off the screen. It's all yours,
take it
brother.
away. Cool. Caught up in this cowboy dream right through sunset to Wyoming. I made good time across the high plains. Stumble in a tavern for my whistle to wet, and there's men in the corner making their bets. It's a different town, but it sure looks the same. Oh, but if I was a cowboy, you wouldn't blame me for acting this old way. You never have to wonder why you couldn't get me to stay. Playing in these crowded bars, cheap cigarettes and high-dollar guitars. When the music dies, load 'em all alone. These women of the road are good for a night, and they hold me close, and I feel alright. But when they wake up, Lord, I'll be long gone. Oh, but if I was a cowboy, you wouldn't blame me for acting this old way. You never have to wonder why you couldn't get me to stay. Freedom has always been my drive, and now I'm sitting here on the other side, and I'm holding it all in the palm of my hand, wondering if it's what I need, 'cause the choices I made and the life I lead have left me blowing like the desert sand. Oh, but if I was a cowboy, you wouldn't blame me for acting this way. Oh, and you never have to wonder why you couldn't get me to stay. 'Cause I always ride away.
You know what that is?
Man, that's a clap. I haven't heard that in a long time.
That's a round of applause, brother. It's a round of applause.
Oh, man, there we go. Thank you, dude.
I love that.
Thank you.
What kind of guitar are you playing?
It's a Martin D18 Sunburst. Got it from Wilcut a couple years ago.
Love me some
2018,
Wilcut.
I think.
Love Wilcuts. Shop local, right?
Man, we're blessed to have that place here.
Bob is
Kill
just a mad scientist when it comes to working on guitars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
he's given me many lessons about how to take care of my guitars, because especially at the beginning did not take very good care of my instruments, but he's pretty quick to tell you to take better care.
I remember one time I walked in with my bass, and and you just don't know how to interact with Bob. He's just like any other musician, you know, and he's just real distant and quiet and just kind of like he'll tell you you're an idiot if you needs to, you know. He's just real blunt. And then I was playing with a group one time, and I was it's called Sensations. I was playing bass in this traveling band, and they said we got a guitar player jumping in. And I'm like, we got a different one. Next thing you know, it's Bob. He jumps in, and he is just crazy on stage.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Really?
Yeah, fell in love with him at that
That's
point.
all.
So, telling us a little bit.
Know
You never know. You never know. Tell us a little bit. So, you kind of got the guitar thing. You get to college. Where'd you go to college?
I went to the University of Kentucky.
Cool. So you're a Wildcat fan, of course, right?
Big Wildcat fan. I honestly don't keep up with it very much in the last 3 or 4 years. Music is pretty much all I think about. So sports kind of took a backseat.
Well, we're usually
still a Cats fan.
We're still having gigs. We're usually having gigs when the games are going on. We're usually having to wait till the games are over, right?
Honestly, you get to where you resent the UK athletics, especially playing. Like I didn't have any shows booked in Lexington or Kentucky in March, maybe 1 or 2, but other than that, you just know to avoid Kentucky in March because you're fighting with basketball every weekend.
And then at any of the local venues, you didn't play till after the game's over.
Oh yeah, many times fought that battle. Like play a little bit during halftime, and then play after the game's over. Yeah,
absolutely.
It doesn't make you feel great about yourself.
No. So you had some more comments. This rascal right here, Sherwin kid.
Sherwin, man.
Sherwin's
you need to get him on playing a little dobro.
I know, man. Do you know, I always tell my students they're wanting to learn different instruments, and I was like, what about dobro? And they're like, sure. I was like, well, if you got the dobro, you can play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard telling kids that, I'm sure. But, man, things like that don't come by very often.
No. And
who we got here?
You see who that is? It's our good friend, Jen Tackett.
Texted Jen earlier today. What's up, Jen?
Jen and I go way back. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump into the next song. What was the next one you were going to do for us?
Too Far Gone.
And this
is a new song. So I might screw up some words, but nobody will know any different.
Absolutely, since you wrote it. All right, brother, I'm going to turn the show over to you. Rock it out.
Let's do it to it.
Lord, I'm falling so fast. Heaven help me if I hit the ground. I pray to God that this feeling lasts. I pray to God that you stick around. Because I'm feeling so high that it must be right. Don't let it be wrong. Lord, I'm too far gone. Loving you, I'm too far gone. Walking with your hand in mine, baby, I feel 10 feet tall. I want to be with you all the time. Don't you know that I'd run and crawl? There ain't a hill I won't climb to be by your side in a road too long. Lord, I'm too far gone. Loving you, I'm too far gone. Too far gone to make it out alive. It's right where I belong to the day I die. all to you. And every time you come around, I find myself loving something new. Lost out on your seat, baby, that's me. And the wind's mighty strong. 'Cause I'm too far gone, loving you. I'm too far gone. I'm too far gone, loving you.
Something like that.
Dude, I really dig it. Like, someone else.
It's a work in progress, but
Like, it's still in my head. This person said, look what this person said.
this is the money song. Oh, nice. Sweet.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I liked
man.
it. I liked it a lot. Like, yeah, I'm still hearing it in my head. That's a good one, man. That's a keeper for sure. So,
Thank you, dude. I'll keep it in the hopper.
absolutely, I'd love to hear it with the full band. It'd be killer. All right,
Thank
so
you, man.
after college, you got a guitar. Did you finish college, or did you get a
I
useful
did,
degree?
man. I was like a straight A student. Did really well, and was really at a crossroads when I graduated. I started playing music again when I was about a junior in college, and I got my first gig as a senior in college. And then, as you know, like once, I don't know when it happened for you, but once that music bug bit, man, it bit hard and fast. And so it was like it kind of derailed every plan that I'd made in my life up to that point. And so instead of, I had plans to go to law school at the start of my senior year, and then decided I didn't want to do that. And then I had some job offers and things, and ultimately decided I just wanted to do music. And didn't do that. I graduated and worked at a restaurant and tried to do music, and I was like, this is a horrible life, you know, to be operating on that little income and be a college graduate. And so I got a job at the University of Kentucky as an admissions counselor. My hair was a lot shorter, and I was a lot more presentable to talk with parents and students. But I worked at UK for 4 years, and so during those 4 years, I was gigging 2 or 3 times a week. I would come in with puffy eyes on Friday mornings from gigging on Thursday night and staying out late. And thankfully, I had some cool supervisors and stuff that really supported it, and I was able to balance it for, again, about 4 years. And thankfully, the music got to a point where I could take it full time. It was still a risk, but I built up enough steady gigs and income and had saved enough money where it made sense to try it. So, yeah, I was at UK for almost 8 years straight, both as a student and then as an employee.
Someone kind of informed us that you have a past former 4-H'er.
Past.
Mm-hmm.
Former 4-H'er, yes. Man, 4-H, and I know Jen will be like, he's mentioning FFA too, but 4-H was definitely the longest standing of probably definitely a huge reason of why I'm in music, because it was my first exposure to getting out in front of people. I did 4-H demonstrations. I showed goats from the time I was in 3rd grade till I was 17, and through 4-H, and then FFA too with the public speaking. And you know, friends have joked with me about that stuff over the years, but I couldn't recommend it more to anybody to do either one of those organizations. Just, you have to get out in front of people at an age where you're really, you don't have a choice if you're in those organizations to kind of tuck in your corner and, you know, stay in your room. You have to get out and talk to people, and you have to be in front of people and learn how to perform, learn how to communicate. So without those, I don't know if I'd be doing this.
Yeah, Jen does a great job with that performing troupe, bringing arts to 4-H. You know, you don't think of 4-H as an as a music or art and all. In fact, her and I taught a ukulele class for 4-H. It's just not what you would think of 4-H.
Yeah.
So I know she's very, very inspirational to a lot of people in the 4-H world. So I wanted to ask you, what was the craziest place you've ever played through the last few years?
Oh, craziest place, man. One of my first gigs was at a place called the Dieselholic Truck Fest. That was it was back home, and there were a lot of friends there. But I remember it being particularly crazy because we were out in the middle of nowhere, and it was the first time I'd ever plugged up my guitar to a soundboard, and I had no idea about anything to do with sound. And I plugged it up, and during my first song, I'm nervous as I've ever been for a gig, and the guitar cuts out because the batteries were dead. I'd never checked the batteries in the acoustic. So fast forward 45 minutes later, my friend's bringing me, and it takes that Epiphone I had and still have takes watch batteries.
No.
The pickup
Oh,
takes,
yeah,
like,
yeah. The 1032s.
It's not like somebody's just going to have a 2030.
2014
Yeah.
or 2032. That's what it takes. Yeah.
20,
Hey,
these are 2032s, and now I have it on me. But
same thing as the guitar
I
tuner,
remember
though.
that being particularly. What's that?
It's the same thing as those clip-on tuners.
Yeah, it's
They
the same
take
thing
a-
as a Snark.
Yes. Hey, you have
Yeah,
a
for sure.
question here from Tammy Tipton. Wants to
Okay.
know what made you write "Too Far Gone."
Falling really hard and fast for somebody that that is near and dear to me, Tammy. Tammy is my former landlord and neighbor, and she was around when I met that person, and it's a scary feeling falling that fast for somebody, and so I wanted to write a song. I think anytime I feel overwhelming emotion, that's when I'm most apt to write a song, because I'm thinking, well, that's the most honest thing that I can do, in a song, is to. And sometimes I'll take an emotion that's not that crazy, and I'll make it into something. I'll let the emotion go even crazier, just so the song gets a little deeper. That sounds like a twisted way of looking at things, but like, I've written songs about almost marrying people, and I've never really been at that point in a relationship, but the story took a different turn once I started writing it, about heartbreak. But if you take it to that next level, let your mind kind of go there, it gets a little deeper.
Yeah, we are artistic people, which means we're emotional people, which means we have extreme highs and extreme lows, and we write based off what moods we're in. I've never wrote a song when I'm in the middle. It just doesn't happen, right?
No. Yeah. I think when I first started writing, and I have so many like melancholy, sad songs, or introspective songs, that I think in the last 6 months or a year, I've been wanting to actively, when I am happy, have the discipline to sit down and write, because most of the time when I'm happy, I'm thinking about playing, and I'm thinking about doing what's made me happy, not sitting down and writing a song. Whereas when I'm sad, the first thing I think to do is to write a song.
Tammy keeps calling you out.
So, oh man, don't, Tammy, get off.
I won't put. But anyway, we'll keep it moving right along. So we're gonna head into. You cut out. Say that again.
He is in Facebook jail for the rest of the night.
All right, let's head on to our next one. This one has a lady's name in it, so I'm assuming it's about a lady friend of yours at some point in time, either mom, sister, cousin. Yeah. Tell us about Dear Katie.
This is Dear Katie is a fictional story that's inspired by some true events, but this is the one I was referencing, actually, that it's about almost marrying a girl, and she's now married with kids, and I haven't had that particular thing happen to me. But the Turnpike Troubadours are a band that I look up to a lot in their writing, and I think at first listen they're like a hotshot country band, but if you listen to some of the lyrics and listen to some of the versions, it's like those are some crazy in-depth stories with recurring characters. And so this actually came after listening to one of their albums the next week. I sat down to write, and this song came out. It's a love letter to a former love that's now moved on and doing a lot better things than this poor old sap that wrote the letter.
Now,
This is
Is
Dear
it-
Katie. It's off the Cowboy Dream EP. And what's that?
Is this one of these songs like I had a friend that this was about? You know how people sell stories. I had this friend.
I promise this one is.
It's not
I've
fictional.
tried to
huh?
get into. I think Bruce Springsteen is somebody I've found inspiration in things like this too, where they write about fictional characters, especially the Nebraska album, and I find inspiration in those things because you can really remove yourself from the, it's not from your point of view. You can write and be a little more, I think, free with the emotion of the person if you're not putting up your own guard because you're writing about your own life.
Absolutely.
So this one has nothing to do with me. Honestly, it has a few inspirations, but for the most part, it's just a made-up story.
All right, take it away, brother.
And yeah. Dear Katie.
Hello, Katie dear, it's been some years since I've seen your face. Heard you got a couple of kids, a white-collar man, and a real nice place. Me, I'm still out here on the road trying to figure out who I am. Sometimes I wonder where we'd be if I'd put that ring on your hand. Maybe we could have made it work if I didn't hurt you by the way I favored myself all the time. Maybe if I heard you say when I walked away that a love like yours ain't easy to find. Maybe if it weren't for pride, maybe if I only tried, maybe I'd be holding you tonight. Yes, I'm the beat down, broken fool, but that you already know. Because a wise man wouldn't be writing this, he wouldn't have let you go. And maybe we could have made it work if I didn't hurt you by the way I favored myself all the time. Maybe if I heard you say when I walked away that a love like yours ain't easy to find. Maybe if it weren't for pride, maybe if I only tried, maybe I'd be holding you tonight. It's me to blame for not taking time to fan a flame that was burning just for me. And it's a shame that I didn't know it then, 'cause now it's only his story. It's all just his story. But maybe we could have made it work if I didn't hurt you by the way I favored myself all the time. And maybe if I heard you say when I walked away that a love like yours ain't easy to find. Maybe if it weren't for pride, maybe if I only tried, maybe I'd be holding you tonight. Maybe I'd be holding you, maybe I'd be holding you, Katie, I'd be holding you tonight.
You sure that's fictional?
As I was getting into it, I was like, he's going to ask me if this is fictional.
You were into it, like, brother. I felt that. I'm like, oh man, I'm sad. But anyway,
It's yeah.
I understand why you picked Katie.
Somebody asked me one time at a show. They just asked me if I was sad, or they asked me if I was okay. Somebody came up after a show and they're like, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" But
do you need a hug?
Sad songs.
Yeah, I understand why you picked the name Katie. It rhymes with a lot of different things.
What's that?
Katie rhymes with a lot of different words. That's an easy one to rhyme.
Yeah, for sure.
Could have been Gertrude.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like Carolina. You see Carolina in a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Things like that tend to pop up quite often.
We've gone over, so we got a couple more songs. We'll keep them trucking. I think we could probably talk for hours. Now, tell us a little bit. We're going to go on, jump into the next song. What's the next one we're going to do?
Turning Tides. This is another new song. This one has been recorded, and it's a song that has been thinking about more and more throughout this quarantine, just as you're wanting to see the light of day and waiting for some good news. And this is a song about you've been in a dark place, and you're coming out of maybe depression, or I've had a lot of different inspirations for this song. But this is about just coming out of a dark place and wanting to find a little red light.
Yeah, I just want my unemployment.
What's that?
I just want my unemployment.
Maybe this will be like an unemployment dance.
There you go. All right,
like
brother.
A rain dance for
Take it away.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
Morning sun creeping in, dancing on my kitchen floor through the blinds of my front door. Today it is a welcome friend, 'cause lately all it's been is rain all the time, all salt, no lime. But the tide is turning, baby, and I'm finally feeling good. Yeah, the tide is turning, baby, just like you said it would. Since the clouds came over the hill, I've been laying soft and still inside for 40 days and nights. But then the light came back again, brighter than it's ever been. Let it shine right on time. Yeah, the tide is turning, baby, and I'm finally feeling good. Oh yeah, the tide is turning, baby, just like you said it would. Today a rainbow came along, changed my tune and changed my song. I'm living in a major key, I'm finally back to being me, because the tide is turning, baby, I'm finally feeling good. Oh yeah, the tide is turning, baby, just like you said it would. Oh yeah, the tide is turning, baby, and I'm finally feeling good.
Dude, I was listening and I'm like, what are those chords? And then I had to bring down the song because I couldn't see your hands. And then it dawned on me, you said you kept going from that E minor to E major, which is going from a dark chord to a very positive major chord, and then you threw that
Yeah.
Dude, that was very creative.
That was I have to say that was in coordination. I co-wrote that song with my friend Ryan Allen, who plays in Magnolia Boulevard and has played in my band, and still a resolution for life. But we wrote that song together, and he loves a good key change too. And it's like, I think particularly too at the end of that song, when you really want to bring the positivity home, taking it to that E or F sharp major changes the whole complexion of the song, kind of.
Yeah, I forgot you had your cape on there, but I was just like, oh man, that's cool. He's going from a minor chord to a major, minor to major, and the whole song's about coming out of the dark into the light, and a minor chord is most definitely a dark. And sorry, we're gonna have like a music theory lesson here, but anyway, that was cool, dude. Loved it.
I could most certainly use it, man. I'm one of those people that just gets by with what I've learned, and I need to take more deep dives into music theory.
Well, just
probably prove beneficial.
Here's your first assignment: figure out what key "Sweet Home Alabama" is in, and then go from there.
Okay.
You can research that one. It's not what you think. All right. With that said, we got one more song.
Last Dance. Okay, cool. The Last Dance with Mary Jane is kind of like that too, right? Or what key is it in?
It's got a lot of modulation in it, though.
Gotcha. Yeah,
like Sweet Home.
Put it on set list. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama. The rule of thumb is you start on a chord, you end on the chord. That's a key you're in most cases. But it's not. It's not. It's some kind of Dielixian, Mecca Heine Holian thing. We'll just leave it at that. All right, so you got a special song for a special day, right?
Yes, sir. It's Willie Nelson's birthday. He's 87 today, and so I wanted to do a Willie Nelson tune for you.
Take it away, brother.
This is Blue Out. Cool. Thanks.
In the twilight glow, I see her. Blue eyes crying in the rain. When we kissed goodbye and parted, I knew we'd never meet again. Love is like a dying ember, and only memories remain. Through the ages, I'll remember those blue eyes crying in the rain. someday again we meet up yonder. We will stroll hand in hand again. And in the land that knows no parting, blue eyes crying in the rain. Bless those blue eyes crying in the rain.
You in that minor to major chord.
What's that?
You did your minor to major chord at the end again.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So
Always got to get a little sadness in there.
absolutely. So I was meant to ask this a little bit. If you had the opportunity to sit down with someone who's passed on or living today and just talk with them musician wise, who would that be?
Man, Willie would be up there. I think John Prine, who we just lost, those are big idols of mine, particularly in years where I was really forming my own sound, I think. And I've had musicians, that I was crazy about over the years, but I think as far as people that, as I'm now getting closer to 30 and feel, I'm not who I'm going to be for my life, but I feel a lot closer now than when I was 22. And so, man, honestly, Willie Nelson would probably be up there for me. Just the way he views life, the way he views music, from what I've seen, would be somebody that I would want to talk to.
I'm going to tell you mine, and you can't laugh.
Okay.
Meatloaf.
Who's that?
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Nice, dude. That's awesome. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I think that's killer. What's the inspiration there?
Man, he's just got. I'm a trained opera singer, so anytime I do pop or country or rock, I sound like I've got all this vibrato, and I just relate it to him. And everything in my head as a musician is a musical. So everything that he does is dramatic. So that's the reason. I just would love to just love meatloaf. And I like eating meatloaf too. That's some good food. With that said, Grayson, man, this has been great.
Dude, thank you for having me on. This is killer setup you have, and kudos to you for sharing this kind of stuff during such a weird, tough time. And hope you have good luck with getting some support from the unemployment office. I know that's been kind of a headache, and
it's all good. It's all good.
You'll figure it out.
I will. That's one thing about us musicians. Someone asks us what we do for a living, we say whatever it takes.
Dude, got to hustle. So.
All right, brother. I'm gonna let you hang out in the back room. And then I'll we'll disconnect, and you and I'll talk a little bit. And anything you want to say to everybody before I stick you back in the back room?
Keep your spirits up, stay safe, and be good to one another. Thank you all for listening tonight. Thanks, James Dean School of Rock or James Dean Rocks for having me. And we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Grayson. Hey, guys. Grayson's amazing, and I appreciate everyone that has joined in. Take an opportunity after this is posted and share it. Let's get this young man a lot of love out there. The more, everyone always says, support local. Let's support local musicians, and that should be from the day that this is over. Phil, anytime he is out and about, you go watch him and support him. That's the best thing you can ever do for musicians, is to go out and support them when they perform. With that said, again, I am James Dean. This has been great. We'll catch you guys next Wednesday. We have Blake Jones is going to be on here again, and we'll put that event out. So catch us next week here on Facebook and YouTube at James Dean Rocks Music School. Peace out.